Hello out there in YouTube land. You clicked on this video evidently because you're thinking about getting your Class A CDL license. Yes, I am a truck driver. I have been driving trucks now for 2 years. Yeah. So I'm just going to share with you what I know about the trucking industry. Um, how to obtain one? There are two ways. You can either go to a company who has a CDL school, and it'll be totally free. As long as you stay with that company. Some companies want you to stay at least a year. Some of them may want you to do 2 years or more. I chose to go a different route. I chose to go to an actual CDL truck driving school. That way I own my CDL. Um, the one I went to out here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana was called Diesel Driving Academy. It's a pretty good school. It is accredited. They have several different programs. Excuse me. Several different, I'm not going to say programs, classes you can take. The first one is it's the 4-week program. You pay out of pocket for that one. And you get the class lasts for 4 weeks, and then you take the test and get your CDL if you pass. The class I chose, it was the 5-month program, and you can use federal student loans. Well, yeah, federal student loans, or you could pay the tuition out of pocket, whichever one. Or if you qualify for the Pell Grant, it'll pay it, and you won't have to pay anything out of pocket. Another thing the school offered was night classes. I think they went for 9 months because their classes weren't quite as long. I think during the day at the 5-month program, we were there for about 7 hours. And so with the 4-week, I think the 4-weekers, they were there for about 7 hours. The night guys, I think they only came for 4 hours. So they have all, it's a really flexible program. But anyway, that's the route I went to get my CDL. The bad thing I've heard about going to a company and letting them sending you to their truck driving school is, well, one particular company is CR England. You want to stay away from. They have a CDL program, but they'll put you through. But the whole time you're training, and I think out with your trainer, they're only paying you like 60 cents per mile. I've spoke to some guys who went there, and they told me like their checks were like $300 at the end of the week, and that's before taxes. What the hell? Excuse me. What the hell can you do with $300 a week? Nothing. So that's a ripoff. So if you sign up for their CDL program and you quit, you have to pay them back. They can put an actual lien on your CDL to get their money. After I got out of truck driving school, I went to Warner Enterprise. Warner Enterprise, it's a pretty good company. The downside is they're stingy with the money. I'm just going to put it out there like that. I stayed with them for 12 months. Most companies want you to at least have a year experience, but companies that will take you like Warner, Snyder, Stevens, any company that'll take a person straight out of CDL school, they're not going to pay the most. We call those starter companies. So I thought, when I hit my year with Warner Enterprise, that they were going to bump my pay up. Which they did give me somewhat of a raise, but it was not nowhere near these other companies were paying a person with a year of tractor trailer experience. So I left. I went to this other company called Centerline. I like Centerline. I like Centerline a lot. They paid by the hour, and basically what Centerline is, it's a, let me get another drink of wine here. Centerline is basically it's a staffing agency for truck drivers. They fly you out to different cities, and you'll stay there working for the customer. Well, you'll be on a local account in whichever city they fly you out to. They'll give you a hotel room and a rental car for you to get back and forth from the job site. It was pretty cool. I enjoyed it. When companies, let's say, they flew me out to Seattle, Washington, and I was working on this Trader Joe's account. I think this is when they had that really bad snowstorm in Seattle, Washington, and Trader Joe's, they were behind on their freight, so they needed drivers to come in to help them get caught up. And the pay, well, I think it normally ranged from like start at $26 an hour up to about 30, all depending on the account or the customer that you're going out to work for. And the minimum to stay out is 30 days, a month. And they might, once you get out there, they might want you to stay longer, which sometimes I stayed longer. I mean, you were making really good money. I mean, because you were getting like overtime every single week, and the checks were cool. The reason why I left is because sorry about that. Sorry about that. Hold on. I left because the work had dried up. They did not have a account. I think I was sitting at home for about 2 months. And if you're not out on an assignment, you do not get paid. So I wind up going ahead getting my hazmat and my tankers endorsement on my license so I can start hauling tankers. Now, tankers pay pretty well. They do. I'm now with this company called Keenan Advantage, and so far so good. I think it's the largest tanking company in the U.S. and what really led me to Keenan Advantage is the guaranteed pay. Yeah, the guaranteed pay. If you're interested in coming over to Keenan Advantage, put me down as a reference, as not a reference, as a referral. Tell them that I referred you. My name is Conrad Green. Conrad is my first name. So help me out. But anyway, Keenan Advantage, basically, Keenan is a umbrella company, and they go around and they buy these other smaller truck driving companies, and they run these companies. Even though they own them, they still run them as a small trucking company. Because when I first started off with them, I think I was hauling gas, and then I moved over to the chemical side, which I like the chemical side better because you're out and back. I'm over the road. I stay out for about 3 days, sometimes less than that, and then I'm back home, Then you also have your guaranteed pay. They have full benefits, 401k, all of that. So, yeah. So if you get tired, or if you're not feeling one place they send you to work, you can always transfer. That's what I did. I transferred over to chemicals. Like I said before, it's an umbrella company, and go around buying up other companies, but they still run them as separate companies, although we all are one company. Um, they have really good health benefits. I already said that. But yeah. Now, one thing about Keenan is it took me quite some time to get on with them. Even though I went through orientation and all of that, I was sitting at home for almost about 2 months. You really got. I had to stay on. I was calling the terminal manager, and then finally he told me, "Well, yeah, just come on in." And then I left gas and I went, like I said before, and I really had to stay on these guys down here, on the liquid side. I mean, I called like 4 times. You have to really be persistent, let them know that you want. And then he just told me, well, just come on in. And then they sent me to another orientation out in Beaumont, Texas. I think I was out there for about a week or so. Yeah, they put you up in the hotel, um, and you go to training. And then I came back and they had a truck for me and they put me out with a trainer, and I think I had to do 3 offloads by myself. Then they assigned me my own truck, and I've been rolling with them ever since. So, no complaints so far about Keenan Advantage. But before then, when I was waiting those 2 months to get a call back from Keenan to come to work for him, I went to Stevens Transport. I went to the tanking division, working out in the oil field. I was told that you can make a lot of money out in the oil field, which you can. But what Stevens did not tell us is that it's not constant. It's not persistent, the pay. One thing they advertise is they advertise that the drivers make anywhere from 1,800 a week to 2,500 a week. And I was like, okay, that sounds pretty good. So I called them up, did the phone interview, went online, filled out the application, and next thing I know, I was headed off to Dallas, went through their orientation. Let me tell you about Stevens Transport. The hotel they put you in, it's this lodge. It was horrible. Horrible. Ugh. This building it must have been built back in the 60s, and they have not remodeled it since. Horrible, horrible place. They had breakfast. I didn't even eat it. To be honest, I told them that I'll pass. They do give you free breakfast. Horrible stuff. But anyway, sat through their boring ass. Oops, sorry. Sat through their boring orientation and got assigned a truck at the Dallas terminal. And then they didn't have enough trucks for us, so people that drove their vehicles, because they had the same orientation for the guys who were going to be carrying frac sand out to the oil rigs, and we had the other guys in there. They live somewhere else, but I wanted to haul water. But anyway, they had the guys in the class with us that was going to be transporting the water from the oil rigs as well. So the guys who had drove their own personal vehicles, they drove down to Stocksdale, Texas. We left Dallas to go to Stocksdale, Texas. And I guess they were going to assign the rest of them trucks down there. This is a very dirty job, working out in the oil field. I mean, it's really dusty. You're out in the desert, out in Texas and Oklahoma. Basically, that's where the oil rigs are. And what they did not tell us is the money, it wasn't going to be persistent. When those wells are down, you're sitting at a truck stop waiting. They put you with a trainer. I think you have to do 5 loads by yourself, and then they'll turn you loose. You don't ride in the same truck with your trainer. They're going to go ahead and assign you a truck, and you're going to follow your trainer. The trucks are governed at 70 miles an hour. I think if you're on the reefer side, I think the trucks are governed at 65. But anyway, so my first day out there, first few days, we did not get a load. And finally, we got one. We had to go pick up the sand, and then we went out to the oil rigs. These they call them leases, because these oil companies are leasing property from the property owners to drill for oil. So we finally got a load. So we get out there. Well, let me back up. To get out there to them damn oil rigs, it's like a puzzle. It's a mystery. Turning down these dirt roads, which I didn't even know you could drive an 18-wheeler on a dirt road. Thank God it didn't rain. We would have got stuck. Then, once you get out there, they tell you all this stuff about the wild animals and how you're not allowed to kill rattlesnakes because they actually hunt the rattlesnakes for their venom or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, they told us that you could not kill the rattlesnakes only if you're in a confrontational situation. Me, anytime I see a snake, I'm in a confrontational situation. So if I was to have saw one, I was going to roll over with the damn truck, So as soon as they told me that, I was ready to get my ass back to Louisiana because this job just wasn't for me. But I stuck it out. I stayed it out there for about a week. But what they did not tell us is when you're sitting at the truck stops waiting to get a load, they're only paying you $75. Because I was calling and complaining like, I didn't get a load today. Am I still getting paid? Yeah, we're going to pay you $75 because you're still in training. When you're out of training, it's only $50. Yeah. And it's a whole lot of waiting because... And my trainer, he was trying to talk me into not to quit because, man, when it's up and rolling, the money is good. The money is good. And I'm like, dude, I can't sit here and wait for the money for them to start getting up and rolling because I have bills I have to pay. You know what I'm saying? And then another thing, the straw that broke the camel back was... When I was in Dallas, they assigned me this truck. I went out there to look at it. These people do not take good care of their equipment. They don't. I went out there to inspect the truck. I noticed that my air conditioner would not get cool in the truck. So I immediately notified the mechanic. And they told me, well, when you get to Stockstill, get them to look at it. And I said, okay. Okay. Big mistake. When I get down to Stockstill, after we had to go sit through another orientation, I brought it into the mechanics. They did something to it to make it cool, and then when I got out on the road, it went out again. So I had to spend 2 nights in this truck with no air in Oklahoma. It was about 90-something degrees. And then I called the dispatch, bitching and complaining about it. And they finally said they routed me to a terminal nearby. They have they had another terminal out there. Well, a drop yard is what they call it, and they have mechanics out there. So I get there, and those mechanics were not trying to look at that truck. They told me just park and we'll call you as soon as we have time to get to it, because they had other trucks ahead of me. So I was sitting out there in that truck for almost 2 hours, and I was like, you know what, fuck it. I called my trainer and I told him, look, I'm headed back to the truck stop. In the morning, I am going back to Dallas and dropping this ragged ass truck off and I'm going my ass back to Louisiana. And he was like, oh no, don't quit. What's wrong? Then he called the fleet manager, and he's calling, trying to convince me to stay. And I was like, no, I'm out of here. So that's what I did. Woke up that morning, took my shower, and I head back to Dallas, drop the truck off. They tried to talk me into staying, but don't waste your time with Stevens Transport. Those people do not take care of their equipment. They tell you about, oh, they have all newer model of trucks. They're constantly changing their fleet. When their trucks are out of the factory warranty, that's when they auction them off. But if your trucks are still under factory warranty, why in the hell you don't fix these things? You know, why you don't fix them? You know, and since I've quit them, they've called me several times asking me to come back. I'm not going back. That's a ripoff. One of my classmates who I went to truck driving school, she hit me up not too long ago on Messenger, and she told me that she fell for the same thing, and asked where I'm working, because she thinking about coming over to Keenan Advantage. So yeah, that's that. So another thing. I've been I've been thinking about, buying a truck, doing the whole owner operator thing, and I've spoke to quite a few people, about it, who are in the trucking industry and who have bought trucks and they still own trucks. These lease to purchase programs, what these trucking companies offer you, I would stay away from it. They say that it's a ripoff. One guy, matter of fact, the guy who I was roommates with in Dallas for Stevens Transport, he told me that he went to, I think it was Western, and he was leasing a truck. One time he paid the truck note, the insurance, and they took out fuel and insurance and all that. He was only left with $40 in his pocket for that week. And he said, it's a ripoff. They don't care. They're gonna make sure you get enough loads to cover that truck note, the insurance, and the fuel. They don't care how you pay the rest of your bills. And I was told this by several other drivers. If you want to go the owner operator route, the best thing to do is to buy your own truck. Not from one of these companies. Do not do the lease to purchase option. Go to an actual dealership, purchase a truck, not these used trucking truck sale lots or whatever. Don't buy a used truck. The only way to buy a used truck is if you know the person who has had that truck and you know that they took care of that truck. Because if you go to one of these used dealerships, you don't know if the person before you kept up on their maintenance, and the majority of them, from what I heard, are repossessions. And you really don't want to buy a truck that has been repossessed, because that tells you that the guy or girl was having money problems. That's how their truck got repossessed, and they probably was not keeping up on the maintenance. And the repairs on these 18-wheelers are very expensive. One guy told me that his transmission went out in it, and for a brand new transmission, it was $25,000. No joke, $25,000. So I went to there's a Kentworth dealership, and I was pricing some of the trucks, and a smack brand new 18-wheeler Kentworth. They start off around 165,000. But you will be getting a smack brand new truck under a factory warranty. You're just gonna have to get out there and hustle, to pay it off. But I think that's the best route to go in if you want to go the owner operator route. So I guess I'll let you guys know if I choose to go that route, if I choose to become an owner operator. But right now, I'm pretty good at being a company driver. You know, getting the benefits. I'm getting the home time. I'm not responsible for my truck. Right now, they put me in a 2012 Volvo, and it is a standard. And I haven't drove a standard since truck driving school. So it took a little while getting used to it. But I finally got it. I've pretty much mastered it. Another thing, be careful what you ask God for, because when I was in truck driving school, I was like, damn, I love those Volvo trucks. That's what I wanted, the Volvo truck. So then when I went to Warner, my trainer, he had a Freightliner, and then they assigned me a Kentworth, and then I had a Peterbilt. I wanted a Volvo, but Warner, they don't have too many Volvos over there. But all of my trucks were automatics. And I kept saying, man, I want a manual truck. I really want to master this automatic transmission. You know, I want to be a real trucker. Because watching all these other YouTube videos, these old school truck drivers, they can't stand these automatic trucks. You know, I've heard them say that, refer to the newer drivers now, because that's what the companies are going to, are these automatic trucks. They're referring to us as steering wheel holders. We're not real truck drivers. We're steering wheel holders. Because to drive a manual, it takes talent. A lot of these guys don't have talent. A lot of them can't drive a stick shift. So I wanted to master the manual transmission. So I have mastered it now. My arm is sore. My left leg is sore from clutching and shifting. I can't wait till they get me out of this damn manual and get me into an automatic. Be careful what you ask God for. I wanted a Volvo, and I also wanted to master the manual transmission, and it gave me both, the Volvo truck and the manual transmission. So I got what I asked for. Now I can't wait to get out of it. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Feel free to share this video with family members and friends. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to my channel. That way you will never miss another video.